Hello everyone, my name is Savannah Lee, and today I'll be telling you why it is important for the school systems to have school uniforms. Most of the school systems today are starting to wonder if they should have school uniforms or still stick to the traditional clothing that their students like to wear to school. However, the school dress code is getting stricter every year, and this makes it harder for parents and students to find clothes that are affordable and make their child feel comfortable while following the school dress code. School dress code cuts out of a lot of things that a student can wear to school. Today in society, clothing manufacturers do not make clothes based on a school's policy or a school's dress code. They make clothing based on what is popular in the world today. They are not focused on what individuals have to wear in certain occasions. They make what they want, which then triggers students to want to dress like a certain celebrity, model, or individual. This creates a problem in school systems because of that strict dress code. School uniforms are very common in private schools and are becoming very common in public schools as well. A school uniform is a uniform where all the students in that school will wear an identical outfit. Most of these are either wearing khaki pants and navy shirts, or khaki pants and a black shirt. It's just like a very professional looking outfit. A lot of school systems have turned to school uniforms to help get rid of our dress code issues, and it also makes their children look more professional and have a better chance of understanding what it's like to look and dress professional daily. So now I'm going to tell you about what parents, students, and administrators think about school uniforms and why we should use them in our school. A lot of the time, students are always asked, do you think that you would enjoy wearing a school uniform? Would that break your identity as a person, not being able to wear what you want to wear? Or is it okay for you to look like everybody else? Some people ask these questions all the time, and some students do not like school uniforms. However, I have found in my research that a lot of students would rather prefer having a school uniform over a traditional clothing. So now I'm going to show you some statistics on what do students think about having school uniforms. Firstly, 41% of students feel like they are going to be safer in their schools if they have school uniforms. They feel like they will be safer because drug, alcohol, and gang paraphernalia will not be allowed on their clothing since they all have to dress identical, and if somebody is out of place, then it is easier for a school administrator to catch versus as in a traditional school. Secondly, 54% say that they believe that this does not affect their identity as a person. People feel, or the students feel, that it does not affect their identity because they can be exactly who they want to be no matter what type of clothing that they are wearing, and that they can express themselves through who they are on the inside and not what they look like on the outside. And lastly, some students feel like school uniforms would eliminate peer pressure and bullying. In our school systems today, a lot of children get bullied based on what they wear to school. If they are not wearing the name brand clothing, pants, shoes, or have the name brand bags or gym outfits or anything like that. By having a school uniform, all the children are forced to dress the same. And when you're dressing the same, you cannot make fun of somebody for wearing the same thing that you are. That would eliminate the bullying aspect. And secondly is peer pressure. As a high school student, many of the students want to dress the same as somebody else. You want to fit in with a certain clique or be able to look like a certain individual at school. And this creates a problem because not everybody is able to financially afford the top line outfits or fit in with your clothing and what you can have financially. So by having school uniforms, we would cut this out because we would all have the same outfits that would be provided by the school, and they would all have to look the same. So it didn't really matter what you're wearing because they would all be identical. So now we have seen that students really do think that school uniforms would be a positive thing to have in their schools because it would make them feel safer. They would not be as likely to have peer pressure. And it says that they would have a decrease in gang activity, and while also it would not take away from who they are as a person. So now we have seen the student perspective on school uniforms. So now let's look at the parent, teacher, and administrator. A lot of the times in our school system, the administrators, such as our principals or even our county head chairs or superintendents, make our school dress codes. However, they do not have to deal with the students who wear the outfits one-on-one on a daily basis. That would be the teachers and the school officials' job. And teachers and school officials feel that by having a strict dress code at school, that they are being distracted from their learning because they are constantly having to take children out of the classroom for not wearing proper clothing that meets the dress code, or wearing outfits such as we discussed earlier that had gang paraphernalia, drugs, or alcohol on them, which are prohibited in our school's handbook. And whenever you have strict dress codes, it also eliminates things that you can wear, such as hats and bandanas and other things like that, that sometimes can go unnoticed when you're in a traditional outfit, because there's so many people and so many different options of what they are wearing that you may not be able to see everybody. So some teachers feel like this will be a way to focus on learning and not on what children are wearing, because some teachers feel that they do not want to get on their children for dress code because it feels like you're targeting that individual and saying, okay, well, you can't wear this outfit because of these reasons, but that might be what that child really wants to wear and what they feel comfortable in. So sometimes you, as a teacher or an administrator, they feel that they are making their children feel less likely to be fit in or taken away from their learning and their comfort in our school by constantly getting on them based on what they're wearing. So now we're going to look at some statistics of what teachers, school officials, and parents think of school uniforms. 85% believes it will cut down the discipline rate in our classrooms. Going back to what the last point was about the teachers. If a teacher is constantly getting on a child for a dress code, then they are not only taking away the learning opportunities for that child, but also all the other children in the classroom. And it also cuts down the teacher's amount of time to actually teach our children the material that is needed. And along with that, it just causes a major headache because it's going to be a constant problem for the rest of the year. And that child also may lose some connection that they had with you, which may jeopardize their grade and jeopardize their future. It also says that 79% feel it increases student safety. When everybody's wearing a school uniform, they all look the same. Nobody's allowed to have overly baggy clothes or overly tight clothes, or they can't go back to having drug, alcohol, or gang paraphernalia on their outfits. And this creates a better environment by not having this, because we are able to see what every individual is wearing and what is going on. And then it says that 90% of these individuals in our school systems would really rather have a school uniform because of how good they would be as a positive impact on our school. And here are some fun facts. If a school has a school uniform, their graduation rate has increased by 8%. And this increase has come from not being distracted in the classroom, not having to worry about what others are wearing or their appearances. And it also says that 27,000 public schools today and 14,000 private schools today use school uniforms. This is a lot of information on school uniforms, and I urge you all to promote and advocate for the use of school uniforms in our school systems. Not only does it make our children feel safer in the school, but it also helps teachers and administrators because they are not have to worry about if a child is presentable enough for school. And it would also cut down on bullying, because we know that bullying is a major problem in our world today. And if school uniforms could eliminate this problem, it would make the world a better place. So I hope that you all will begin advocating for school uniforms and see the positives in it. Thank you so much for watching my persuasive speech.